Hello everyone, myself Jaya Agarwal, Assistant Professor Political Science, SPCGC Ajmer. I welcome you all once again in my this video. This is paper second of BA part second and political science. This is name of the book is Indian Political System, and in this video we are going to study about the Constituent Assembly. Constituent Assembly, which can be considered or which can be described as an important step or stage or phase in the Indian history or in the history of Indian politics. Before we start our video, before we understand the different phases of our demand of Constituent Assembly and how Constituent Assembly was formed, formation of Constituent Assembly. First, it is important to know that what is the meaning of Constituent Assembly. What do we understand by the Constituent Assembly? The Constituent Assembly means an assembly of the people. That mean that is representatives of the public or people, either elected directly or indirectly, which is formed to discuss over a constitution that exists, or to amend some, if necessary at that time, to amend some provisions of that constitution. And if a country is just getting its independence, so there is need of a new constitution, and this Constituent Assembly will surely discuss about the making of a new constitution, the provisions of the new constitution. This is the Constituent Assembly. It is very much important to know about that the Constituent Assembly works as a symbol of independence of a country. That's mean wherever we find a demand of Constituent Assembly across the world, that's mean whenever we hear about this, we can understand truly that that state or country or nation which is demanding a Constituent Assembly, or wherever a Constituent Assembly is formed and is working, that's mean that state or nation or country is independent or in the process of making a constitution. This is the Constituent Assembly. So let's start. The Indian Constitution was drafted by a Constituent Assembly. While explaining the meaning of Swaraj, Gandhiji indicated in 1922 that the Constitution of India would be drafted by Indians. So, first of all, most important thing or most important word is here, which I have mentioned, that is Swaraj. Swaraj, that's mean we will rule ourselves. We don't need any foreign government. We don't need any British government to rule here. We want full freedom. We want independence. And second most important thing is that Gandhiji in 1922 indicated that the Constitution of India would be drafted by Indians. That's mean we want independence and we will make our constitution ourselves. It was indicated by Gandhiji in 1922. That's mean we can say that we have been demanding for the freedom of our country since this, because it was the starting of our Indian freedom movement. So we demanded time to time for the Constituent Assembly or constitution. And next one is the Nehru Committee drafted for the first time a constitution for India in 1928. First one was Gandhiji in 1922, who demanded freedom or a constitution that it is clear itself that we demand for the independence. And next phase was 1928, when Nehru committee drafted constitution for India. And it was for the first time, and the Congress adopted the goal of complete independence, that is Purna Swaraj, at the Lahore session of 1929, the most important once again landmark in the Indian history, that is Lahore session 1929, where Congress clearly adopted the goal of complete independence. That's mean now we have abandoned our demand of dominion status for India. Now we are to achieve our goal of complete independence is the goal which we are to achieve, and for which we are to now sacrifice our whole things or our life for the independence of the country. For the first time, the demand for a constituent assembly was raised in 1934. The Congress officially demanded a constituent assembly for India in 1935. The British government accepted in principle the demand in August of 1940. The most significant, I can say, that is August of 1940, not because of other features may be equally important for us, but the most important feature of this August of 1940 was that the British government here in principle accepted our demand of constitution. That's mean we can read between the lines that here British government was some kind agree for the independence of India in principle, not in practical but in principle. The Cripps proposals assured the constituent assembly for Indians to be constituted after the end of war. This was the Cripps proposal. As we all know that the Cripps proposals were useless for us, and in the Indian history, in the history of Indian politics, the Cripps proposals does not uh, we do not rank Cripps proposal as important, but the Cripps proposal was some kind of deception for us, as it accepted the Constituent Assembly for Indians to be constituted, but the condition was that it will be constituted after the end of Second World War, and we did not accept such kind of we did not accept such kind of to be cheated by the Cripps proposals, we can say. Under the Cabinet Mission Plan 1946, the elections for the Constituent Assembly were held in July 1946. This can be before the Cabinet Mission Plan, we have been reading all the demands put by either Congress and its leaders, or accepted by some to the some extent by British government in principle. But when we talk about the ground level and real work about the Constituent Assembly, here comes the Cabinet Mission Plan, that is 1946. And according to under the Cabinet Mission Plan 1946, the elections for the Constituent Assembly were held in July 1946. So most important month and year, that is July 1946, and Cabinet Mission Plan, that is for 1946. According to this plan, there were elections were held, and now we will see the outcome of these elections. So let's move ahead. The members of the Constituent Assembly were elected by the provincial assemblies by the method of single transferable vote system of proportional representation. This is the whole method. This is the method of single transferable vote system of proportional representation. And the institutions which elected the members of the Constituent Assembly were provincial assemblies. Seats among different provinces were allocated on the basis of population, the ratio being one member representing a population of 1 million. So we can clearly see that seats of Constituent Assembly were allocated on the basis of population of a province, and around 1 million people were to be represented by one member. This was the ratio or proportion at that time decided by the cabinet mission plan, and the seats were also reserved for Muslims, Sikhs, and general candidates in proportion to their population. It was the representative system or proportional representation which was adopted by the cabinet mission plan, that Muslim, Sikhs, and general candidates were given representation in proportion to their population. Out of the total membership of 389 of the Constituent Assembly, 292 were to be representatives of the provinces, 93 of the princely states, and rest of 4 members were to come from chief commissioners' areas. In the provincial elections, the Muslim League won 73 seats, Congress 208 seats, and Independent and other 9 seats. This was the result of elections, and we can have a diagram also if all students want. So here some objective I have cleared it as a part of descriptive question, and it can be used as objectives also. And the total membership of the Constituent Assembly was decided to 389, and when we see these 389 members, we can clearly see that out of 389 members, 292 were to be representatives of the provinces. Had 292 representatives, and princely states where the rule was or I can say there wherever was monarchy was there, these are called princely states. And in Constituent Assembly, princely states got representation of 93 seats, and just only 4 members were to come from chief commissioners areas. Chief commissioner areas means wherever the direct control of center was there, and chief commissioners were appointed there by the British government, and these were ruled by these commissioners, and 4 members were to be there from these areas. In the provincial elections, the Muslim League won 73 seats, Congress 208 seats, and Independent and others 9 seats. This is the party-wise result of the elections, as Congress ranked to the top at the top, and it won 208 seats, and Muslim League it won 73 seats, and Independent and others 9 seats. That's all for today from my side. We have understood the Constituent Assembly, and how the demands were expressed by Indians before the to the British government, and how time to time in Congress and its representatives they put demand and drafted a constitution, and how the British government worked in this regard, and how the Constituent Assembly was formed under the cabinet mission plan, and elections were held at that time, and proportional representation was there according to the population, and result was there. As we all can see that Congress won 208 seats, Muslim League won 73 seats, and independent and others 9 seats. And that's all for today. We will meet in next video. Till that time, thank you very much.